Picture this. I'm standing in the sweltering heat of a New Orleans courtroom, my heart pounding like a jazz drum solo, as my two aunts, those polished, pearl-clutching vipers, stare daggers at me from the witness stand. They have spent years siphoning my money, whispering lies behind my back, and now they've forged my grandmother's sacred will to steal her priceless heirlooms right out from under me. But in that moment, with the judge's gavel hovering, I flip the script. And oh, the looks on their faces when I drop the bomb that shatters their perfect little world. Pure, delicious justice. Stick around, because this isn't just revenge, it's resurrection. If you've ever poured your soul into family, only to have them stab you in the back with a smile, this one's for you. That burning rage, that ache for anyone to finally see your worth. Yeah, I feel it too. Hit that like button if betrayal hits too close to home. Smash subscribe for more Reddit revenge tales that deliver the payback we all crave. And let's dive into Elena's story, a tale of dusty secrets, broken trusts, and a comeback so sweet, it'll make you cheer. Hey everyone, I'm Elena, 35 years old, and for as long as I can remember, I've been the keeper of forgotten things. By day, I restore antiques in a cramped little shop off Bourbon Street, polishing tarnished silver that whispers stories of lost loves, piecing together cracked porcelain that once held the weight of grand southern balls. My hands are calloused from sandpaper and secrets, but my heart? That's been the real fragile relic. And it all started cracking wide open on a sticky August afternoon. 3 months after my grandmother Mimi passed away. Mimi wasn't just family. She was my North Star, raised me in that creaky shotgun house in the garden district after my parents' car wreck took them when I was 8. She'd sit me on her lap amid her collection, a sprawling menagerie of heirlooms she'd curated over decades. A Louis XV clock that ticked like a heartbeat, Creole jewelry dripping with emeralds from antebellum scandals, porcelain dolls with eyes that seemed to judge your every sin. These aren't things, Cher, she'd say, her voice like warm chicory coffee. They're souls. And souls don't forget. She promised me that collection one night, under the glow of fireflies in her courtyard. It's yours, Elena, to protect, to share. Don't let the foxes in the henhouse snatch it away. The foxes? My aunts, Lorraine and Delphine. Lorraine, 62, the gambler with a laugh like shattering glass, and a wardrobe of knockoff Chanel that screamed desperate glamour. Delphine, 58, the boutique owner whose exclusive shop in the quarter peddled overpriced scarves to tourists. Her smile as brittle as the lace she sold. They were Mimi's younger sisters, but where Mimi built with heart, they tore down with envy. Always hovering on the edges of our lives, cooing sympathies at funerals while eyeing the silverware. I'd been their safety net for years. God, the years blur now. It started small. Loren's one last bet at the Harris Casino that spiraled into $25,000 in debt. I'd get the call at 2 a.m., her voice slurring through tears. Elena, baby, just this once. Family helps family, right? I'd wire the money from my shop's meager savings, my stomach twisting like a wrung-out dish rag, telling myself it was for Mimi's sake. Keep the peace, you know? Then Delphine's boutique tanked rent due, suppliers circling like vultures. $18,000 gone in a flash, my overtime hours at restoration gigs vanishing into her comeback fund. She'd hug me after, her perfume cloying as cheap bourbon, murmuring, "You're such a good girl." Elena, Mimi would be proud. Proud? I was exhausted, my own dreams of opening a full antique gallery deferred again and again. But family, right? Blood's thicker than the bayou mud. Mimi's funeral was a farcy, humid blur of black veils and whispered condolences in St. Louis Cathedral. Lorraine and Delphine fluttered like mourning doves, Lorraine dabbing dry eyes with a handkerchief that probably cost more than my rent, Delphine clutching a fan as if the grief were a summer squall. They handled the will reading the next week, insisting it was too much for poor Elena to bear alone. I trusted them. What a fool. 2 days later, the executor, a dusty old lawyer named Mr. Thibodeau, called me into his office on Magazine Street. The air smelled of mildew and old law books, and when he slid that will across his desk, my world tilted. "Elena, Cher, there's been an irregularity." His voice was gravel, eyes kind but pitying behind bifocals. The document named Lorraine and Delphine as sole heirs to Mimi's collection valued at over $750,000 by appraisers. While I got a pittance, a silver locket, and $5,000. My chest caved in, breath snagging like thorns. This wasn't right. Mimi's scrawled notes in her Bible, the late-night promises, they echoed in my skull like ghosts. I clutched the paper, fingers whitening, knuckles aching as if I gripped a shard of broken china. "Irregularity?" I whispered, but inside, rage flickered a slow burn in my veins. Hot as cayenne and gumbo. That night, alone in my apartment above the shop, the walls closing in with the hum of the quarter's distant jazz, I paced. The betrayal wasn't just the will. It was the pattern. Years of my sweat funding their whims, and now this? I saw it clear as the Mississippi at dawn. They always resented me. The golden child who stayed with Mimi, who learned the trade instead of chasing vapid dreams. Loren's snide asides at family dinners. Oh, Elena's playing with her dusty toys again. Delphine's eye rolls when I talked restoration. Her boutique dreams always more glamorous. They'd whispered I'd manipulated Mimi, poisoned her against them. And now, with her gone, they'd rewritten history on VELLUM. The turning point came at dawn. Sunlight slanting through my lace curtains like accusatory fingers. I couldn't breathe under the weight, the powerlessness, the disrespect gnawing at my bones. My hands shook as I brewed coffee, the steam rising like unanswered prayers. "No more," I muttered to the empty room, my reflection in the kettle's curve fierce, eyes shadowed but sparking. I wouldn't crumble. I'd unearth the truth, drag it into the light. First call to Jasper, Mimi's old bridge partner and my trusted family friend, 70 if a day. With a mustache like a walrus and a memory sharper than my chisels, Jasper met me at Café du Monde, the air thick with powdered sugar and bagnette grease. His eyes twinkled over café au lait as I spilled it all, voice cracking on the will's cruel lines. He leaned in, gravelly whisper cutting the chatter. Those sisters of hers. Always jealous as cats in a cream shortage. But listen, Elena, I saw Mimi sign the real will myself 6 months back. You were the heart of it. And that notary? Shady fella from the 9th Ward. Bet your bottom dollar they leaned on him. His words were a lifeline, pulling me from the undertow. We dug. Jasper's contacts unearthed the notary's records, tampered dates. A forged witness signature that screamed amateur desperation. Loren's casino buddies, no doubt for the muscle dot next. The sharpest blade in my arsenal, Ms. Evangeline LeBlanc, probate lawyer extraordinaire. 48 with steel gray hair and a shine on and eyes like polished obsidian. She ran her firm out of a Creole cottage on Royal Street. I burst into her office that afternoon, will clutched like a talisman, tears hot on my cheeks, but chin high. They stole her soul, I choked out, slamming the paper down. Evangeline didn't flinch. She flipped through it like a menu, her red lipstick mouth curling. Forgery's a felony, darling. And these signatures? Sloppy as a drunk scrawl. We've got motive your generous loans to them and opportunity. But we need proof. Her voice was silk over steel, and in that moment I felt seen. Not the doormat niece, but a warrior with a cause. The planning phase? Pure, meticulous fury. Nights blurred into a haze of legal briefs and late suppers of po' boys at my desk, the shop's lamplight casting long shadows over stacks of documents. Evangeline and I pieced it like a puzzle. Jasper's affidavit, notary subpoenas. Even a private eye tailing Lorraine to the casino where she bragged about finally getting her due. Tension coiled in my gut like a spring. Every creak of the floorboards had me jumping. Imagining Delphine's saccharine calls. Elena, honey, why the fuss? Mimi wanted us to have it. I'd hang up, fists balled, nails digging crescents into palms, whispering, "You'll see." Escalation hit like a hurricane. 2 weeks in, Lorraine cornered me outside the shop, her heels clicking like accusations on the banquette. "You're making a scene, Elena?" she hissed, breath sour with mints masking martinis, her manicured claws grazing my arm. "Drop this nonsense, or we'll tell everyone you're the ungrateful one sucking Mimi dry all those years." Delphine texted next, a photo of her new emerald brooch from the collection. Captioned, "Family treasures stay in the family ... mostly." My blood boiled, vision blurring red. How dare they flaunt it? Parade my birthright like a trophy while I scraped by. That night, I shattered a teacup against the wall, porcelain shards scattering like my shattered trust, sobbing not from weakness, but from the fire igniting. This ends now. Execution day dawned muggy, the air heavy with impending rain. Courtroom in the Civil District Court. Polished wood benches groaning under spectators. The judge, a stern widow named Hargrove, with a bun like a crown-gaveling order. Lorraine and Delphine swept in like queens. Lorraine in a crimson sheath that screamed, "Guilty." Delphine fanning herself with a lace hanky, whispering to their lawyer, a weaselly man named Boudreaux. Me? I sat ramrod straight in my simple navy dress, Evangeline at my side like a sentinel, Jasper in the back row nodding like a sage. Evangeline opened like a storm. "Your Honor, this will is a fraud." Plain as the French Quarter's sins. Exhibits flew, the real will. Jasper's testimony crackling over speakers. I watched her sign it clear as day. Elena's the guardian. Gasps rippled. Loren's face drained to chalk, Delphine's fans snapping shut like teeth. Then the hammer. RPI's video, grainy but damning Lorraine in a casino booth, boasting, "Forged it clean." The girls too buried in dust to notice. The courtroom erupted in murmurs, a buzz like cicadas. Boudreaux stammered objections, but Hargrove's gavel cracked like thunder. Overruled. This is contempt-level deceit. The ants took the stand, crumbling like stale bayonets. Lorraine, sweat beading her rouge, spat, "It's a lie." Elena's always been jealous her little shop, her restorations. We deserved it. Delphine wailed, "Family doesn't sue family." But Evangeline shredded them. Deserved? After draining Miss Morel's granddaughter for your vices? Motive lay bare my bank statements, wire transfers timestamped like accusations. I testified last, voice steady but laced with venom, eyes locked on theirs. Mimi taught me to cherish souls. You? You pawned them for poker chips and pretty lies. The words hung heavy as humidity, and for the first time I saw it cracks in their facade. Loren's lip quivered. Delphine's eyes darted, hunted. Then the verdict dropped like a guillotine. Judge Hargrove's voice boomed. Forgery proven. The collection reverts to Elena Morel, rightful heir. And ladies, her gaze pinned the ants like butterflies. A formal apology in open court, plus restitution for emotional damages. $50,000 apiece. Court adjourned. The gavel slammed and chaos bloomed. Lorraine lunged forward, screeching, "You little ingrate." This isn't over? But security hauled her back, her pearls clattering to the floor like spilled tears. Delphine collapsed into Boudreaux's arms, sobbing, "How could you, Elena?" "We're blood." Blood? Their betrayal curdled in my veins, but oh, with the release, the triumph flooding my chest like cool rain after drought. I stood tall, Evangeline's hand on my shoulder anchor, as whispers turned to stares of awe. The ants? Dragged out, reputations in tatters, community tongues wagging from magazine to the Marini. Heard they fake the will poor Elena, after all she's done. But I wasn't done. With the collection reclaimed crates, arriving at my shop like prodigal sons, I didn't hoard it. No, I transformed it. Partnered with the New Orleans Museum of Art, curated Echoes of the Bayou, Souls Unearthed, opening night. A gala swirl of gowns and gasps. The Louis XV clock chiming midnight as donors toasted the restorer who revived more than antiques. Lorraine and Delphine slunk in the shadows. Uninvited ghosts, their apologies via email meet pleas for one last loan that I deleted with a laugh. Their boutique shuddered. Lorraine's casino bands whispered. Gossip painted them as the villains they were. Me? I curated exhibits on forgotten women of the South, my name etched in bronze plaques. Power, finally mine, hard won, unbreakable dot in the end. True inheritance isn't gold or gems, it's the grit to rewrite your story when they try to erase you. Mimi was right, souls don't forget. And karma? It restores piece by glittering piece. Whew. If Elena's courtroom mic drop gave you goosebumps, smash that like button and drop in the comments. What's the wildest family betrayal you've survived or dished out? Share your revenge wins. We read 'em all. And hey, subscribe, ring that bell for weekly doses of Reddit justice that hits just right. Thanks for watching. Stay fierce out there. See you next time.